What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you're having a good day. Today we're getting our YoungStatic on. We got a EF Wagon over here, Civic Wagon, whatever you want to call it, and it's got a pretty nice little engine setup in it. And the guy brought it to me to build a little intake for it and then build the exhaust for it. So right now it's open header. He just finished putting the motor in, getting it all dialed, all that jazz. So he needs me to build the exhaust and stuff and the intake, and then he's going to send it off to the dyno to get tuned. But before we get this video kicking off, I want to remind you guys that I do have the braces available, and hit up the Big Cartel to order them. It has the lists on there, and I'm updating it once I get the fixture made for the EK fronts. And then I also want to remind you guys that I did set up a Patreon, so if you want to support the channel even more, go sign up for that, and be looking out for giveaways and stuff like that once we get some more people in there, and it'll be pretty sweet. But let's jump into this. So right before us we got this Civic Wagon. I'm not sure of the year, to be honest, but it's got a nasty little K24 swap in here. This is a Japanese one from HMO, so you know, good healthy motor. And yeah, so we're gonna be building an intake to come from this coupler. Just shove it right down in there. He's got some good fresh aluminum and a nice filter right there. And then look at this wheel, nice ITR wheel, nice tucked shifter box down there, like super OEM looking. Like you really wouldn't ever guess that this has got what it's got. And then he's got all the material. He's got he's doing full V-band all the way back off the header, so he cut the flange off the header, got a V-band for that. So right here we got the expansion pipe. We got some nice stainless hangers. I believe this is actually stainless exhaust, so that's really nice. I may try and TIG weld it. I just went and picked up an extra, or a new bottle of argon because I was out. And then we got a high flow cap. We have a resonator, or I'm sorry, a muffler, a MagnaFlow resonator, and we have just a tip for him to bolt on because he wanted to keep it discreet. So kick it out where the factory spot is. So this will be fun. This will be a pretty good project. So if this is stainless, which like I said, I think it is, then ideally I want to TIG weld this entire thing. I don't have a back bridge set up yet, so the welds will have some sugaring on the inside, but it's still just it'll be a little less colorful, and it won't last, say, 40 years, but it'll last a solid 20 years or whatever. Those back purge setups ain't cheap. I mean, just to get me started on one, I'm looking around 500 bucks right now between all the purge plugs and the extra bottle and the regulator, because I don't want to do the dual regulator. I don't even have a big enough bottle for that. So yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna just go ahead and I kind of want to start with the intake, but I do need to, because it's aluminum, I have to cut it with designated blades and stuff, and I have a new bandsaw blade that I need to put on, but I'm gonna do the exhaust first, that way I can burn up the rest of this old blade and then put the fresh new blade on to cut the aluminum with, so that way it doesn't get contaminated with anything that's on it, so it's easier to weld. As always, jack up your car. So here's all of our material laid out. Here's the car up on the stands, so I'm gonna just get right into it. I'm gonna start with welding on the V-band to the header, or tacking it up. Then we're gonna move to the expansion, and then we're gonna go to the cat, to the resonator, and then make the piping to go back to the back side of the car. Then we're gonna figure out the muffler section. Once it's all tacked up, then I'll split it all apart and take it over to the TIG welder and get it TIGged up. To make this easier to film, I'm gonna grab my GoPro really quick, crawl into the car, and we'll get started. So I apologize if the audio sounds any weird or anything, but yeah, that's the situation. So this is what we got to work with. This is where the flange was, the 3-bolt flange that normally comes on these K-tuned headers. So we're just gonna add a V-band to it, just like this. Just slap her on there, except he's got one of these that's smaller because it has to go to that adapter. So, actually no, I'm sorry, the adapter goes to this, V-band goes to the adapter. Let me grab that. This piece, this is what goes first. So that way we can kind of just butt weld it up to it, just like that. And then from there we do the V-band, and then henceforth go down the line. So I'm gonna fire up the MIG welder. I got it sitting right over there. Lay a couple tacks on this, but before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and tack weld the V-band onto here, and then go from there. That's a good feeling. Seeing that line all the way up there. So these things are super easy to tack weld. You can just kind of like pound the torch down, or the pedal, and do what's called a fusion tack. So makes it really quick and easy. I'm just gonna add a little bit of filler. I thought about welding this all the way right now, but just in case, for whatever reason, I need to break it off, not gonna do that. So, and then it's just gonna sit just right there, just like that. Normally, these have a little machine lip on the inside, but this is 3-inch inner diameter, so it's a hair bigger than this flange. So I can still get a good weld around it. It's just not gonna sit in that machine lip. I wasn't gonna take it all the way until I mocked it up, but I forgot that I have to take the whole header off to weld this thing around, so I didn't want to have to try and fight with the header, how big it is, to get the TIGs on this. So I just went ahead and TIGged this. I'm definitely getting a steadier hand with my TIG, and I'm really happy about that. It's actually starting to look like TIG welding, at least on this type of stuff. It's really not that bad. So I know a lot of you guys are probably better than me, but I've only been TIG welding for maybe 1.5 years total. So I've had my own TIG for about 1 year, but I've only probably got about 40 hours into it. But that's beside the point, whatever. I'm gonna go start mocking this stuff up. MIG welder's hooked up. Got this piece ready to go on here. I just gotta actually, you know, tack it up. So just gonna try and center it as well as I can, just like that, so it shoots straight down the line. It's hard to see, but pretty much perfectly straight down the line. So now, let me just set you guys down, we'll tack it up. Two tacks in, and I think I ran out of wire. Yep, empty. Son of a biscuit. I already spent 2 hours today freaking running around doing errands, getting material and all that crap, and I thought I needed wire, but I wasn't sure, but I should have got it. So now, I gotta go run and get wire before I can continue. We got our spool of wire. Thankfully the welding shop's only a couple miles away, so it took me about 15 minutes to get there and back. So, freaking goes that piece. How do I do this? That piece, spring, other washer that I just always freaking drop. Okay, there we go. And then spool. So mine is a bottom feed, so where's my actual thing come out? Down there? Okay, so we go like that and load it back up. We're good. Back to work. So with that first section tacked up, now I'm going to move on to the cat because he wanted that first in line. So I don't know how big this is. Okay, so pretty big thick boy. So what he wanted to do is he needs to order one extra V-band, he said, but he wants to make this removable to replace with a test pipe. Hence why he's putting the resonator in there and a muffler, because it's going to be super, super quiet with all this in there, but this is just for emissions purposes, really. So we're going to put it in with the V-band for now, and then he's going to bring it back, and we're going to just make a test pipe with another V-band. So I'm going to just go ahead and grab the other V-band section that I had real quick, weld that up, and then, yeah, then we can move on to building the section after this. Got the cat nice and TIG welded up here. Even this is just normal mild steel, but this is just a good quality steel. So even though it is steel and not stainless, it still gets that good coloration. It welded super, super easy. I mean, I did make sure to clean it beforehand, but still, I'm liking the way this is going so far. The cat's bolted up, but he, like I said, he did want to use this as make a test pipe section to replace it. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the other V-band to the end of the cat here, and then put some pipe just in between, and then the resonator I'm gonna hang up a few inches back, probably 6 inches back or something. So that'll bring the end of the resonator right around here, and then I can just bring some pipe over here, and then somewhere over here I need it to somehow come back, because I'm assuming this is there for the exhaust to come back, but this kind of doesn't really go anywhere. because he's trying to put the muffler right here under the trunk. So I need the exhaust to come back under the arm here. So somewhere over here, I'm gonna have to like 45 it over, and then straight, and then up and over the control arm, and then 90 over here, and hang the muffler down. So I've never done this before on a wagon, so this is kind of a new experience for me, but we'll get it done. Got the other V-band welded up, so now I'm going to move on to working on the next section before the resonator, which is the straight section. So I just took my measurement. I need roughly 7.5. I mean, ideally I can do whatever length I want, but I think I want to tuck the resonator up as high as possible, so using 7.5 inches to the resonator is going to let the resonator sit pretty nice and tucked up in the shift tunnel right before the gas tank area. So that's what we're gonna do. Now I love stainless steel. Let me turn that welder out for you. Now I love stainless steel because it's fun to weld, especially I can't wait to get a backbridge head up so I can really make those colors pop and, you know, make the weld last even longer. But the one thing I hate about it is it's hardened. So that makes it really difficult to weld, or not to weld, to cut. And my blade's already kind of dull. Like I said, my new blade I'm trying to save for the aluminum, at least so I can cut the aluminum first on it, so that way it's not contaminated with steel, so I don't contaminate my aluminum. So we're going to try our best and see how long this takes. With our tape measure. Seven and a half. That took like literally 5 minutes to cut, and I still had to help it and like wiggle it off. I don't like that. So we're up to this point so far, where it's right here. So what I'm trying to do is get the distance from here to here. So in the meantime, I'm gonna set up and get my 90 section ready after that, because I figured out where it's supposed to route. So I've got my V-band, I already got the other two pieces, the two 90s tacked together. And I'm gonna tack the V-band on real quick and then kind of rest those up on a jack stand and get my in-between measurement from there. So this is the section that goes right under the gas tank or around the gas tank or whatever to the control arm. So this is the section, because it's the expanded part that I'm going to point towards the center of the car, this is the side that gets the V-band to go over the control arm. So this back section has really been giving me a run for my money. I can't make pie cuts because this thing literally just destroys your friggin' blade within seconds. I don't have templates to do it out of, like, by hand. Why am I so dark still? Wow, I am dirty. Yeah, but anyways, I need a bunch of pie cuts to be able to do this efficiently. I don't have any, I can't make any with this stuff because it's just too good of material essentially. It's way too hard for my saw. So one thing he wanted to do was have that one black tip come out right here, but this is the muffler style. Like, this is what I got back here finally. So
had to fake the funk a little bit, but there ain't no way I'm gonna be able to use this tip because this is as high up as this muffler can go, and it's already almost touching the bottom of the chassis. So pretty much I'm gonna have to, yeah, I mean, I can kind of rotate this up a little bit, and then I'm gonna try and make a little turn down tip to come off of it, but that's as good as I can get. I mean, he really did give me pretty much everything I needed. Like, obviously, if it wasn't so hard and pie cuts were available to me, then this would have been a lot easier in this back section, just more welding, but obviously charged accordingly. But now I'm just kind of like, I can't fit this. Like, 3-inch piping on a car that had like 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches from factory, it's a big jump. It's hard to fit. So I'm gonna just make this back section try and work, and hopefully the guy likes it. I don't know. I'm frustrated. Day quickly turned into nightfall. I got the rear section welded up. It literally took me like 2 hours to take it all up. TIG welding just takes forever. So I'd say 90% of the rear section's welds came out pretty darn mint. There was some misfits because of the way I had to cut the pipe and like the way I had to like fake the funk for the angles. So some of it looks a little rough, but then other parts of the gap parts, I found a little trick because it was slip jointed, is to TIG it and then use a hammer while it's hot and pound it down, and then it kind of like reshapes it, and it actually works pretty well. So the tip does sit a little angled and a little low from where he wanted it, but that's literally as good as I could get it because of just how thick this muffler is. Like, it's literally tucking probably almost 1/4 inch off of the bumper, or the trunk liner. So other than that, it looks really dope though, being all stainless. So not much is left. Only stuff I have left to do for tomorrow. I may even go through and edit. Nah, never mind, I lied. I'm done for the day. I'm tired. But tomorrow I gotta weld the 3/4 section, the part that goes from the control arm back to the resonator. It's all tacked up. I just wanted to get the rear end stuff done first because I knew that was gonna be the hardest. So just weld that 3/4 section, add the hangers, and the exhaust is done. Then it's just that intake, which would be pretty easy, hopefully. Next day now, I just crawled under there, got an idea of what's left. I got 1 V-band left to weld, and then 3 slip joints, or butt joints, I'm sorry. And then I just gotta MIG weld the flange off the header, like the adapter piece, where it goes from the header 2.5 inch to the 3 inch, that little thing. I'm gonna try and make it most of that on the car. The only thing is just the top section is gonna be hard. But I'm not gonna bother filming that, so this is pretty much done. I'm gonna come back to this later today though. I'm about to take the Del Sol up to the gas station, just give it a quick rinse off, and then I'm gonna come back here, grab the Miata, then we're gonna head out to the Dyno Day meet because today is the 17th of October. So Debbie Garage is hosting another Dyno Day thing. Gonna pop in for an hour or two, see if it's worth it. Last time it was pretty cool, so hopefully this time it'll be also as cool. And then I'll come back here a little bit later this afternoon and get this thing finished up. What is the floor? Good old Del Sol roof leak. You already know. Fortunately. Hopefully you don't, but you probably do if you have a Del Sol. I'm gonna give this thing a really quick once-over vacuum. I just vacuumed it the other day, but Arizona dust plays no games, so. Del Sol's cleaned up, DJ's here. Miata is decently clean, so we're just gonna go. dude in this Kia behind me is staring mad hard at me. This is really awkward. Is that NSX 116?
Is this the famous YouTuber
Ooh, can I shake your hand? Damn!
Bet you good goddamn, sir.
That was a bust.
I was a little disappointed.
Yeah, it was definitely way more popping last time.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I would have enjoyed staying in the house, honestly.
Yeah, so.
But whatever.
Yeah, the meet this time was definitely a big bust. I don't know what happened, why nobody showed up. So it was cool to talk to the few people that did show up, but yeah, wasn't very popping, so we dipped. It's still going on for another 4 hours, 4.5 hours. But I got stuff to do. I gotta finish that exhaust, so we're gonna go get food, get lunch or whatever, and then I'm gonna go home, finish that exhaust, and then we'll catch up with you guys then.
So I'm a little upset.
Full strips of bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't get them now.
Like, you see how it strips? Huh?
It shows crumbles on their
Supposed to
thing.
be like chopped up. They're not.
So back home, back in the shop now. Just gonna finish welding this up. Just got this V-band, the 1, 2, 3 joints left, so 4 total joints. So that's what, 9, 18, 27, 36 inches worth of weld. Hopefully have that done in about an hour. It's just gonna be a little tricky, at least to do this V-band, because I can't stand this up in here. So I'm gonna have to maybe even have my girlfriend come out here and hold it for me, because I obviously don't have a big enough table. So gonna make it work. I'll throw you guys up on a time lapse and we'll just get to welding.
That wasn't easy to weld just because of how big it is and how I'm using one clamp and this thing isn't exactly light. I mean, it's not super heavy, but a little clamp, big pipe. Let me show you real quick and then we'll go put it on. So, all TIG welded. It was tricky and I had to like nuzzle it in my neck and hold it while trying to TIG it, but it's all good. So let's go slap this thing on, weld up that last little bit, add the hangers and make that little intake, but I mean, I'll show you guys when that's all done. So, yeah, I'll catch up with you guys when this is all ready. So there wasn't enough aluminum for the intercooler, not intercooler, the intake tube. So I improvised. He had some extra leftover exhaust tube, or pipe. So what I did is I chopped up some of the exhaust pipe and welded a tab on it and made myself an intake for it. And then just for the lulls, I took a torch to it and turned it brown, gold, whatever. Doesn't mind that. Hopefully it's a good improvisation. Is that a word? Hopefully I improvised adequately for him and he hopefully he likes it. It fits, it totally fits, so I'm stoked on it. I'm pretty proud of it. So I think what I'm gonna do, cut the clip here. Come daytime when we got a little bit more light, I'll just take this right up my street really quick and just to get a sound clip for you guys before he comes and picks it up. Alright guys, let's fire this thing up real quick, end this video off. Ben is on his way to pick up his car, so we're just gonna fire it up, let you hear it idle for a minute, and then I'm just gonna accelerate up the street that way, and then accelerate up the street that way, and hopefully that'll be good enough for you guys to get the gist of it. Nice aggressive deep tone, I like it.
there you guys go. Hopefully that was a good enough sound test for you guys. I think it sounds fantastic. Super deep, pretty mild actually. I'm not super quiet, not loud really at all. So I hope he likes it. But on that note, I'm gonna end the video off here, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, hopefully you've considered subscribing. If you guys wanna help support the channel, remember I do have a Patreon if you wanna go sign up for that. And then also pick up some of the braces that I'm making. I got available as of this moment. I have this EK Hatch 4-door one. I have a Del Sol 3.1, and I have the EK front one, which I need to make the fixture for, which I'll probably be doing tomorrow since it's Monday, so start of the work week, I guess. And yeah, anyways guys, do what you love, forget about the rest. See you in the next one. Peace out.